All right. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am super excited for today's video because it has been a long time since we filmed a video together.
So
This
long.
is so long. If you are not familiar, this is Dr. Ben Johnson of Osmosis Skincare. For a lot of you guys already know who he is.
Reunited and it feels so good.
We are back, Ben and Bree.
Yeah.
Yep.
We if you haven't checked out our videos from before, you can see how well we do in talking about really important stuff that your clients, your customers, I should say, want to know about. And so I think they're going to love our session today.
I think so too, because what we're going to talk about today first is skin issues. You get red spots, like, your skin can become red in certain areas, but a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize that a lot of what you see on your skin is stemming from your internal health and issues coming from inside. So, honestly, I was just talking about this on my Instagram. Ben here actually was like a huge help in my skincare journey when I was diagnosed with rosacea years ago. And I was telling everybody that's how I found Osmosis and found you. And you really led me down the path of really understanding where rosacea stems from, how to clear it. Because I went to every top dermatologist and all they wanted to do was throw antibiotics and prescription topical products.
Steroids.
Yes,
But the other thing they tell you is, oh, you got it for life. Like,
exactly.
what? You
Yep.
just have it for life. And, I didn't just want to talk about rosacea in particular, because that's certainly going to make your face red in certain areas. But other things are showing up right now. So I run a forum with thousands of professionals and they submit hard cases. And so I'm seeing a very consistent pattern. And that's when I know we've got to get it out to the world. And so when Brianna and I decided to join back up and do some videos, I thought, boy, this is something people want to hear about today, because the most frustrating thing, by the way, people email me personally all the time to ask for this stuff. And the most frustrating thing for all of them is they just can't understand. They want to understand it. And so I love to empower people and go, hey, this is where it's coming from. You're going to see when I tell you the causes, you're going to be like, yeah, I do that. Or yes, I'm on this. And
It
so
clicks. It makes sense.
excited to get into it.
Yes, yes, definitely. So where do you want to start? Because like I said, there's so much that you could talk about on this topic. Where do you kind of want to start from?
I want to start with something that I've developed called skin mapping. And I don't even know. Maybe I think we did a little skin mapping way back in the day.
Oh my gosh, that was one of our first videos like 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but that was a long time ago. So you can kind of go like introduce that again.
By the way, I just had a flashback to, I don't know if we filmed that in your bathroom in that house way back when. Anyway, I just had a flashback. But so, let's start with, first of all, if your skin is red, it's almost 99.9% of the time it is coming from something inside. And so, but what do I mean by inside? Well, it could be an internal imbalance, harming, and by imbalance, I mean toxins. It could be medication, and it could be an infection. And so it's important to map your skin in order to see where the location is, will tell us what the source is. So the real quick, I'm going to go by it by what I see as the most common presentation. So the number one most common presentation is digestive rosacea. And that's where you're either getting red on the forehead, the temples, the cheeks, and the nose is also part of the digestive. So that whole zone, excluding the eyes and excluding the neck, that whole zone is digestive. And the number one cause of digestive rosacea is candida overgrowth in your gut. And so we're seeing a ton of this. The things that cause candida are sugar, dairy, probiotics, ashwagandha. Like, I'm speaking a little fast. These are supplements I've learned that are also adding to it. So if you have a supplement with probiotics in it, ashwagandha, magnesium supplements are leading to it. And what's another really common one? Fried foods. So if you have a lot of fried food in your diet, so what people often notice is when they ate less dairy, for example, a lot of people when their skin gets red, they intuitively go, I need to change my diet just to see, because it's got to be something, right? And when they go to their doctor will tell them, oh, you've got a mite in your skin, or it's just a condition you're stuck with for the rest of your life. And I think, that's what they told you. And
Mhm.
that is wrong. It is an extremely treatable condition. It is not caused by a mite in the skin. And you'll notice, based on that particular presentation, that especially if you have redness and acne, it's absolutely candida overgrowth in the gut every time. And so on Brianna's website, we have some important products. You have Skin Clarifier.
Which is my holy grail. I take that honestly every couple months just to keep my skin clear.
I have to too,
Yep.
because I love dairy. I eat fried food, right? And so, and I should mention the other thing that causes this increase of mucus in the gut that leads to rosacea is sour drinks. So I don't know. I know you and we've been out at a restaurant before where we are ordering like a margarita. So things like that. If you're a big margarita drinker, you will slowly accumulate what's called excess mucus in your gut, and that will lead to more candida. So Skin Clarifier is to get rid of mucus. And the good side benefit of that is it also will clean out your sinuses. And so, and then you take Skin Perfection, which is what shrinks candida in the gut. And the other one that maybe you need, if you've had this condition for over a year, you need Skin Aid. And Skin Aid is designed to scrape and pull up some of the hard mucus that happens over time. So the Skin Aid, Skin Perfection, and Skin Clarifier will resolve most of your cases. Sometimes you need more than one. Like in the beginning, a lot of people need two. Sometimes they need three. And then like you and I, when we need catch up.
Refresher zero. Yeah, just one.
Refresher
Yeah.
is one. And when you do a refresher, you don't need the Skin Aid. You don't need the second one. So that's for digestive rosacea. But the crazy one that I've been seeing more in the redness zone, and it's still kind of in this class, is redness around your nostrils. I don't know. Do people send you pictures, Brianna?
Yeah.
So this one I see, and this is a fun game. I tell my esthetician pros, I'm like, go outside, go look at celebrities when they're being interviewed. And you can't believe the number of people have this red patch around their nose or down here going almost like above a beard, mustache line. That zone is your stomach zone. And the cause of it is H. pylori, which is a bacteria that causes ulcers, but it also just causes a lot of digestive upset. And the problem is people will go get tested for it, and a lot of the tests are flawed, and so they give you a false negative result. If you have redness around your nostrils, and I'm not saying on the nostril, I'm saying right next to the nostril and around your nose, you have H. pylori in your stomach. I guarantee it. And the products that Brianna has for that are Immune Defense, and you need to take 2 doses, and then Recovery, which is our prebiotic. I do not believe in probiotics, so you take the prebiotic, the gel cap.
And that's and I want to touch on that because I think this is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Your whole take on probiotics versus prebiotics. I love your take on this. So for people that are kind of new here, like you definitely dive into that a little bit.
Sure. And so this is a process of logic deduction. And why I'm so amazed by what I'm about to say is no one else is saying this, and yet the evidence is so obvious. So here is the evidence. The evidence is, if you ask the experts in the field about your microbiome today, they will tell you that your microbiome develops in your first 2 years of life, and it develops from the food that you eat. Well, that's nuts. Because number one, if you're breastfeeding, your microbiome doesn't match your mom's microbiome. It's not the same microbiome. Like, we all have a different microbiome. Number two, most people eat Gerber baby food, Similac, Enfamil, like all these different, none of those have any of the probiotics in your microbiome. So they tell you that it's coming from your food, but our food is cooked. It doesn't even have, most of it, and raw food doesn't contain these bugs. So there's about 10,000 really exotic strains of bacteria that grow in each of our guts. All of us have different populations of each, and yet none of them are in our foods. So the reason why I'm walking you through that story is because how do you actually get your microbiome? It comes from your DNA. So your DNA, there's that book, Eat Right for Your Blood Type. Well, that's because your blood type is based on your DNA as well. And so there's a lot of truth in that story, not 100% true, because of course your DNA is the ultimate decider. So what is my point? So then they did a study and they gave people antibiotics, and then they gave them probiotics or nothing. And they found that the people that took nothing had their gut recover faster. So that led me down that path. So I'm like, why would that be? Well, because if you're taking probiotics off a shelf, maybe one of the 10 strains, let's say, that's in the bottle is something you might need. The rest of them are populating the wrong bug in your gut, and your gut will not like that. Now, people say, well, that made me feel better. Well, maybe, but you're using the wrong bug to change your environment, to change something that was going on. A prebiotic feeds your DNA's repair of your own gut. So that is why probiotics are causing harm right now, is because people are populating their gut with the wrong bugs. Your good bacteria come from your DNA. And so I found the best prebiotic was sea buckthorn oil, and that's what the main ingredient in recovery. And so it's been amazing, and it's proven out. Like when people take recovery, their digestion gets better every time, unless they're on supplements that hurt it. But like you can't take recovery and expect it to get better if you're on a probiotic. Right. And so there's different things that harm you. Anyway, so that's the story on prebiotic versus probiotic. And listen, probiotics probably the number one supplement, one of the top supplements in the world today. And it's because the microbiome is being damaged. So people should know, your audience should know, your microbiome is being damaged because there's so many pesticides in food, and pesticides do what you think they do. They kill good bugs. And then preservatives. So because so much of our food supply now is fast food or long shelf life foods that have to ship across the country, those preservatives also harm your gut bacteria.
So everyone's gut is literally off in this like modern world we live in. That's what sucks. Yeah.
And so many people are showing up with this redness around their nose. So they need immune defense and recovery. And maybe you can put up, a link on the thing to the protocol. We'll see how many people like write in and go, well, what is exactly the protocol?
I'll link everything for you, all your details. Yeah.
Okay. And so that's called the H. pylori. Now, I've seen doctors just cause it seborrheic dermatitis and other misdiagnoses. It's not that. Trust me, it's your stomach. And you'll know it's your stomach because you oftentimes have acid reflux from H. pylori. So then the rest of your nose gets red. When you have acid reflux, your nose and the sides of your nose get red. And so that's a different part. That's up in the esophagus zone. So this is the esophagus. This is the stomach. This is digestion around here. So that's another really common red zone. Another really common red zone is around the mouth, something called perioral dermatitis. Have you heard much about that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I should say for all of these, the fan favorite product is Rescue MD as a topical. But internally, if they have perioral dermatitis, you're also treating candida. So you're going to hear me always go back to Skin Clarifier, Skin Aid, Skin Perfection, because those three in combination will clear perioral dermatitis. And we stand behind it. Like Brianna will always write me if there's someone who's not getting clear, and I'll step in and help. I will take a personal interest in every case on Osmosis because I'm so passionate about getting 100% success rate. And then I know there's so many things to talk about with redness. I'll keep it shorter. So the other one that's showing up, and you mentioned it, was just red spots. Just all of a sudden you get this red spot on your face or a few red spots, and you're like, why would those show up? Those are actually liver spots that haven't turned brown yet. If you go out in the sun a few times, that red will turn brown, and then you'll be stuck with a liver spot your rest of your life. So what causes liver spots is actually liver damage. And it's so funny, we call it liver spots, but the dermatology community will not, they don't subscribe to it being from the liver, but whoever named it back 100 years ago, they named it correctly. So I've seen a lot of causes, but let's just keep it simple. The number one cause is medication, and the number two cause is an infection. And I will tell you the difference usually is this. If it's an infection, it's a lot bigger area, and it kind of came on quickly. And so we can treat them all with immune defense, but we just have to figure out the dosing. So between Brianna and I, we will help you figure out how to identify why you're getting those spots. And the repair of the liver is our Regenerate. Regenerate is
that's what I was going to say. That's another amazing supplement. So good. because that goes along with, and this isn't why your skin is red, but melasma. I know
Yes.
it's linked to
The
liver.
liver.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
regenerate. I always tell people, because some people are like, I've tried every topical product, my melasma is not going away. I'm like, you need to treat the source and get your liver functioning and healthy again. And I always tell them, regenerate. You have to start there.
Regenerate and Immune Activator for melasma, but we want to try to stay on the red, so we won't go
Stay on the red topic. I know.
You're right. But you're right, and melasma is a tough one, and I'm telling you, people are going to doctors, getting laser treatments, and making it worse. So you have to be careful about how you address your melasma. I'm a big believer in not burning it, because it will come back. And why will it come back? Because it's coming from the liver, so it's going to keep coming back, and that's why it returns. Anyway. So red, let's talk about red on the eyelids. So red on the eyelids is, first of all, if you have an eczema-like picture, then red on the eyelids is eczema, and we treat that. It's also caused by candida. I know it's crazy, but so that's Skin Perfection, Skin Clarifier, Skin Aid. However, because we live in such stressful times, a number of people are getting like one eye red and not the other. And I have found a lot of times that is stress related. So if your eye gets red or swollen, like you wake up in the morning and let's say it's your left eye that is red or swollen, you're like, what the heck just happened? Stress.
Really?
Stress is the cause. So we make an elixir called Emotional Wellbeing Elixir, and that helps with the red eye and the stress. And this is not a sty. Sty is a whole nother experience. But if it's the left eye, it's a female. So it's usually a mother, daughter, causing the stress. If it's the right eye, it's a male. So brother, father, husband.
Really?
Yeah. And a lot of times you'll know because eye twitching is also the same thing. So if you ever find, like I just recently, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I just recently had let's just say a less than satisfactory interaction with my ex-wife. And I noticed my left eye started to twitch and I'm like, man, it's happening to me too. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's a good like little guide for you because a lot of people, when they get the eye twitching, they go in and get Botox in their eyelid and all this horrible stuff. And you don't need that because you can resolve it. Once you realize the source of the problem, you can resolve it.
Yeah, interesting.
All right. So the last thing we'll do on redness is the neck. So if you are getting redness on your neck, then you are probably on a medication that is hurting your liver. Neck is a liver zone, and sometimes it can just be a patch. I see that a lot. So, what are the most common medicines I'm seeing causing it? Let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. Metformin is a big one. A lot of people are on these days. By the way, the Ozempic, like that whole class of weight loss drugs, they cause red spots on the face. So people might notice they're getting red since they started Ozempic. That's to let people know about. But what's another one that's common? Gosh.
So why are they turning red from that though?
Because their livers, the medicine is hurting their liver, and then it's a different part. So you might say, well, wait, why does the liver show up here on a liver spot and down here? Because your liver's got a bunch of lobes in different areas, and so each medicine hurts a different part of the liver, and that's why they show up in different places.
Yeah,
neck is one of them, and so anyway, between Brianna and I, we can help you resolve this. And but don't get so frustrated that you go in and you get on more medicine because they end up like put on steroids.
Exactly. Yeah, the steroids or antibiotics or all those things that actually are going to do more damage to your skin. So yeah, you want to stay away from that.
It's so frustrating. So just remember, Rescue's a go-to. You also sell Remedy. Remedy is a go-to. Remedy is the more when the skin is really compromised and the barrier is down, and Rescue is for everything before that. And so
everyone can use Rescue. It's not like you have to have redness, and everyone, because it's so good for anti-aging too.
That is so true. Yes, Rescue has multi-purposes, but it's the number one product we sell because so many people have inflamed skin. So it's good to detox acne. It's good for, rosacea, redness. It's good for shrinking pores, which is another subject we're going to talk about today. So yeah, there's a lot of a lot of ways to use it. But yeah, for today's conversation, that's a good place to start.
Okay, perfect. So that's we're going to end it on the skin mapping and redness topic. I think that we covered everything with that.
We covered the main ones. Yeah, we'll end it there.
All right. Well, in this video, stick around because we're going to talk about how to shrink your pores next. Thanks, Ben.
Let's go. You bet.